Let's roll. Level 2 has begun. This is SportsRage. 46-34 right now. 5:19 left in the first half in Sacktown. The Kings are up by 12 on Golden State. Loser's done in this game, and the winner gets the Pelicans in the NBA play-in tournament. And it's, they have this play-in tournament. Now they're already talking about expanding the play-in tournament now. It's like, God, like where does it end? And the NHL has kicked the tires on a play-in tournament as well. But as we saw, the NHL, the last couple of nights have been very dramatic. You don't really need it. Hockey's a little bit different. What I need is some points in this game. 48-34 right now. Golden State are going to have to pick it up here. A lot of people think this team can get broken up after this. An end of an era for the Golden State Warriors, specifically Klay Thompson. Word on the street is the Orlando Magic are going to go after Klay, and Wiggins is going to be done there, right? Curry will still be there, but they're going to have to retool this team. But still a lot of basketball left in this game right now. And the Warriors are getting 8.5 points. The in-game total is 216.5. They're getting 8.5 points. They're down 12. I'm on Golden State already. I'm on the over this game. And I'm not happy they're down 14 right now, 48-34 suddenly, but I don't think they're out of this game. Who are you on, Cam, in this game? Who'd you end up taking?
The Kings. I'm on the Sacramento Kings. Gabe, I found a series price for a couple more series. Boston's minus 120 on my book against Toronto. The Hurricanes are minus 350 against the Islanders, and the Panthers are minus 175 against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, we were talking about the Islanders and Canes early. What's your pick there? McKinnon says in 5.
Canes in 6.
The Islanders will be competitive, but Carolina, McKinnon's had a good point. They're very similar teams, but Carolina's more talented and just better at what they do. Like stylistically, they're very similar, but Carolina's much more skilled than they are. 2-0 for the Vancouver Canucks right now. Over to Calgary Flames, and the Canucks only need a single point, and they win the Pacific Division. Yet, there's no easy matchup, as we were talking about in the Western Conference. And I think Vegas as well. Vegas can play themselves out of this wild card spot by winning their last 2 games. And they get the Chicago Blackhawks tonight. It's scoreless right now. Surprisingly, Cam, the Golden Knights and Blackhawks didn't score in the first period. Still, and now the in-game total is 4.5. Yeah, but like if Vegas can move up still and get out of the way. And if put it this way, every team has to make a decision. Yet we see most of these teams don't really cower. That's more of a media thing and a handicapper thing we talk about. Like even, they played Austin Matthews tonight. The Knicks the other day, Cam. The Knicks could have avoided playing potentially Philadelphia or Miami. But they were like, yeah, whatever. So a lot of these teams don't really care. But if you're Vegas, if you win these last 2 games, you get you avoid the Dallas Stars. So you don't play the Dallas Stars in the first round. You would play the Edmonton Oilers instead. But it's not like the Oilers are a party either. So if you're Vegas, you either play Edmonton or Dallas.
As the brackets stand now, I love Vancouver's path. I think they can beat Nashville, and I think they can beat Edmonton or LA. And I'm not just saying that because you're the host of the show. I think they have a great path. The bottom end's better than the top end of the bracket. If things stay the same, Vancouver can beat Nashville, and I think they've already proved they can play with Edmonton, and they can beat the Kings.
Oh, it's set up. I've been saying this all along throughout the bracket. It's just every of these hockey brackets, they're dumb. Like I said, you're better off not being the top seed. It's the same thing we're talking about with the Rangers as well. And this could come into play as to why President's Cup trophies, they don't win. You're getting screwed over. Like you don't get the easier part of the bracket. And you see this year. And it was the same thing with the Denver Pioneers. Like I said, like in the NCAA. You look at that bracket, you had all these Michigan teams and all these powers on one side and Boston College, and you had Cornell, Maine, Rochester, sorry, Tommy, but RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology. Yeah, it was kind of like, I don't know why they do this. Like that was by design, the NCAA. The NHL is just stupid, bro. Like the NHL bracket sucks. Like it just does.
What's the point of playing a whole season to be rewarded with nothing as the top team? There has to be some kind of benefit to the success that you have over a long season. That's logical. That's the whole problem with the NHL.
You get the wild card team.
Yeah.
Right? So that's supposedly the reward, that you're not getting a second or third place team, you're getting a wild card team. Except that in hockey, that doesn't really mean anything. As you see, these wild card teams have 100 points. So there's no separation between these teams. So you're not, it's not like these other sports where it's like, yeah, this team sucks and you get to play them in the first round. The NHL is like, no, this team is good. And you get them to play in the first round. It was the same thing with the Montreal Canadiens. Like, that's how the Canadiens made the Stanley Cup a couple of years ago, Cam. Mm-hmm. The side of their bracket that they were in was a hell of a lot easier than everyone else's. Why? Because they got in. It's same like with the Islanders and the Canes. Like, that's why I stated for like I want to get to the scenario for the Rangers, but if I was a Ranger fan, I'd be a little bit weary about that. Just about the grind you're going to have to go through. And Vancouver, as I've been stating, you don't have as good of a record as Dallas does. Yet you're going to get Nashville, and then you're going to get the winner of LA and Edmonton. Dallas have the best record, and they're going to have to get the freaking defending Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights, and then after the winner of Winnipeg and Colorado. Like, that doesn't make sense.
No.
You know what I mean? From a competitive standpoint, but it's an advantage, as we stated, for the teams at the bottom of the bracket.
Agreed. That's why we have so many underdogs winning, as you said. Like you can make a big run in the NHL. Doesn't matter if you're first or a wild card. It's all the same damn thing. We talk about it. Underdogs winning in the NCAA, NHL. Gabe, we basically confirmed this from the top of the show. Hockey's very different than every other sport. Very different. And I'd love to be a wild card team playing with house money.
So as I stated, and the Leafs are in the easier bracket as well. Like if you look at if you look at the Eastern Conference, the New York Islanders play the Carolina Hurricanes. So it's supposedly an easy series for the Canes. Dude, the winner of the Canes and the Islanders, they play the winner of the Rangers and Capitals. So basically, if you're the Canes and you're the Rangers, you have to go against each other, not even in the semifinals. Like in the second round to get to the semifinals. Meanwhile, if you're the Leafs, Panthers, Lightning, and Bruins, I mean, it's a hell of a lot more easy and manageable, in my opinion. So, like, if the Leafs can beat the Bruins, right? You just got to get you get through after that. Then you're rolling.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Boy, if you passed him up as a Heisman Trophy winner and he lights the league on fire like C.J. Stroud over a Bryce Young, you might not make it as a head coach or in your regime here. I just don't think they can pass over Daniels at number 2.
He's sitting at 5.8 goals, saved above average. He has been standing on top of his head for this team, but defense has to help him out a little bit. the Red Wings defense comes alive just a bit, I think that they're definitely going to punch their card.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
North Carolina come back, take the lead, and then somehow Alabama punches back. A true classic. Like, the word classic gets tossed around loosely a lot, but that really was a true classic.
Great point earlier about Arizona. They had such an advantage under the basket, yet they're having guys just chuck threes. Their whole game plan sucked from the get-go. Like, the fact that they lost that game, I put a lot of it on coaching.
SportsRage Late Night, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The Early Line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Sacramento Kings have 9 offensive rebounds tonight. The Golden State Warriors have none. Big difference in this basketball game. The glass. Golden State's got to raise it up a notch. But I'd be a little bit concerned if I was the Sacramento Kings. Golden State have played terrible, and you played pretty well, and there's 30 seconds left, and you're up by 6 right now. You haven't pulled away at all, and you know Golden State's going to raise it up a notch in the second half. Curry will start to step it up and dial it up a notch a little bit. 54-48 right now, and Sacramento just turned the ball over. Let's bring in Mr. Sean Higgs. Although I'm forced to say Mr. because of your damn Twitter account. Why'd you do that? Someone else already had Sean Higgs? Or do you want respect from people? You demand respect?
I have Sean Higgs. And I lost the account in 2019. I had to start a new account.
Oh, you lost it? Yeah.
I'm like, can I get my account back, please? I even tweeted Elon.
What did you stop being offensive online, Sean?
Sean Higgs, Elon. Come on, get back to me. Yeah, Sean Higgs, I have it. I can't access it.
So you came back, you lost it, so you had to restart it with Mr. Sean Higgs instead of Sean Higgs?
Mr. Yes. I could have Sean Higgs.
Mr.
Because on my Twitter it said was at like 2009 at Sean Higgs, because that was what it was. And then once it's gone, you can't. No one could. It's not like an old name you could just bring back. Like, nobody's used it for 5 years. No.
Oh, yeah, it's good. Yeah.
It's gone forever.
I like Mr. Gabe. It gives him notoriety. He's more regal with Mr. Sean Higgs.
I got a lot of class.
That's what I said. Just forcing people to say Mr. Sean Higgs. I have to say it.
It's Mr. Sean Higgs.
Because it's your Twitter account.
I had it at Real Higgs.
I should change mine. The great Gabriel Morency. I should just say, put that. Great Gabriel Morency. Force people to say, what's your Twitter? Great Gabriel Morency. The great.
Exactly.
The great.
GGM. Yeah, GGM's here. Yep.
Yes.
Ready to go.
You can put anything there. They'd have to say it.
So 54-40 at the half. Warriors just scored again just to chip away. And what do you think, Sean? As I just stated, I'm sure you're watching. If you're Sacramento, things have been going your way. The crowd is into it. You were hitting a bunch of threes early. Golden State are getting killed on the glass. Curry really hasn't dialed it up. And lo and behold, they're going into the locker room only up by 4 points right now. I'd be concerned if I was Sacktown or a better.
You're worried. You played the last 3 games have all been 1-point games, so they've all been battles. As you said, if they're not going to rebound, they're barely winning. You should be up double digits here. You should 15. You'd be like, all right, we got a shot here. Let's play a good second half. And Golden State comes out always in the third quarter, firing it away. You're in trouble. This is a championship team caliber. I mean, they've won before. The pedigree's there. They're not going to just lay over They're going to come out and give you a good punch. I don't know if the Kings can take it. Are they going to be able to take that punch coming out of the half? I say no. I don't know if they got the heart to hold on.
I'm already on the Warriors, Sean, on the money line, but they were getting 8.5. They were getting 8.5 when they were down by like 14, and I said I'm already on them, but I think they're going to come back. The 8.5 is a good bet.
You take that. That's a good bet.
Now they're 2.5. The Warriors are plus 2.5.
Oh, the NBA in game, always a good spot. If you're watching the games, you could always get some giant number. It's man.
Yeah, look at even the Pelicans tonight with the Lakers. The Lakers were up, and it swung. The Pelicans started off, and then the Lakers were getting like 8.5, 9 and stuff, and then boom, the Lakers were killing them suddenly.
Yep.
And then the Pelicans were underdogs, and it ended up coming down to the wire.
Yeah, the in-game, if you're going to sit and watch a game, you could make money because it's somebody gets out by 10, 12 points, and you get that 6, 7, 8 points. Like, why not? And then it flips the other way. Worse, you're getting a split. Then you sweep the board, and it's a monster day for you.
I need some points in this game. The total is 222.5. Right now, the in-game is 216.5 at the half right now. On the diamond. So we did this last night, and we cashed. Sean, I took the Chicago Cubs against the D-backs in the 7th inning. The game was the 6th inning, 7th inning. The game was tied, and the Cubs were plus 160. Well, here we go again. It's 5-5 right now, and they're getting plus 200. The only thing is,
bullpen is terrible for Arizona.
Well, I was going to say, though, the D-backs do have runners on 2nd and 3rd right now with 1 out, though. But you're getting plus 200. They get out of this, and you're getting a good bet. If they get out of this somehow without giving up anything. What do you think of this game? Cubs are plus 1.5, minus 120. You got a run and a half or plus 200 on the money line.
Is he gone?
I think Sean's like Madame Tussauds Wax Museum.
That's amazing. Mr. Sean Higgs was just Wax Museum. That was the best. I thought he's there and he's gone. It's amazing.
He looked like he was just thinking. I thought he was in deep thought. He was like thinking. Pondering. That's as smart as he's ever looked, actually. That should be your screenshot. He looks like he's thinking. Yeah. Look at that. He's in deep. There he is. Now he doesn't look as smart suddenly already.
Ponder. There he is.
You know what? I was in a freeze. It was like one of those.
Oh,
I should have looked back. Yeah. I was frozen. It happened sometimes. I went to a DK live screen and it froze up on me. I was trying to find what the number was at there. So
it did. Okay.
Bad decision there. Yeah.
The D-backs just scored 6-5 right now. 2-1 for the Mariners, guys, in the top of the 6th inning. Here's another one. Cam, you're always going to be like the Reds all the time. The Reds are plus 225, but they're only down by 1 run. Top of the 6th, they're down by 1 run, and they're getting plus 230. Mariners minus 310. In-game total is 5.5. The in-game total in Arizona right now is 16.5. We're already at 11 runs, and we're in the bottom of the 5th only. I would think that that's going to go over.
Yep.
Any late night baseball for you here, Sean? Cam is on the Oakland Athletics here against the Cardinals. The Cardinals are up 3-2 right now.
Plus 1.5 too. But you're right. I'm on the money line as well.
And the Dodgers are up 3-2 now.
The A's are worth it, I think, on run lines. They're a run line kind of team. It's tough to take them because they're so bad. It's not a team you want to run to. But Blackburn's pitched well. He's always pitches.
They're not terrible though. They're not good, but they're not as bad as their perception is. They're not as bad as they were the last 2 years. I'll put it that way.
I was gonna say they're not White Sox X bad. White Sox look like they could be one of the worst teams of all time. They look horrible. But yeah, the A's got some young guys there. The A's, they got some. They made enough trades.
Exactly.
Talent. They should be able to do something. And I'm not high.
They've been stockpiling draft picks for years, right? Now these guys some of them are getting to be pretty good hitters. They got some talent. Do you know what the problem for the A's is, though? They're stuck in purgatory. Their owner has no interest. Do you think they're going to move to Sacramento while they wait for their new stadium? Do you think they're going to spend money on players in a stadium that they have 10,000 seats in? No. So they have they're never going to win. They're never going to try to win this team.
It's
if you're a player on the A's, it kind of sucks. If you're on the A's, you play for yourself, right? And if you're all those guys you're all a bunch of young dudes. You have a good time together, and you say, guys,
it's like we're going to expand. Let's expand to Tennessee. We're going to Memphis. We're going to Austin. We get rid of 6 teams. I don't care how good the Pirates are.
We're not getting rid of 6 teams.
I mean, You should look at the crowd. I'm just saying, you get a team like
Mr. Higgs'
Oakland,
take.
but
I
you
like this.
want to
Continue.
expand. Come on, man. The Marlins at Tampa Bay. No one goes to these games. No one. I don't care that they've won and have been good. No one goes. It's terrible. Come on, man.
They're not taking 6 teams out. Where all the players go.
I
So
understand.
you're gonna cut
How
out
about we do 2?
200 players
You'd
shots.
have better teams.
Can we start
first
at
of all,
2 games?
Can we start at 2? Can we start at 3?
No,
Can we start at Oakland?
no. What
Somebody?
they need to do,
Is
like you said,
The pitching is
they
terrible.
relocate. Like you said, Tampa is never going to work, but Tampa, there's a reason. Tampa have a contract, right? They're locked in, like Oakland was. They're locked into their stadium. And Tampa will be in Orlando in 4 years. 2028, 2029, Tampa will move to Orlando. Mark it down.
Are they going to be? I mean, at least Tampa competes and they're good. But I mean,
Florida, Miami is another one where even if they're good, it's just not a baseball city. They thought it would be with the Cuban people there and stuff, but they don't go to the games. Like nobody cares.
It's like Vegas. It's a transient city. A lot of people.
When it comes to betting on sports, injuries matter, and Sports Injury Central has you covered all year long with expert injury analysis and injury-based picks for the NFL, NBA, and MLB. Our former pro sports doctors have unmatched experience to analyze every injury so you know the impact of the player, team, and their upcoming matchup. Whether it's articles, podcasts, player insights, or our patented injury scores, Sports Injury Central will help you keep up with your fantasy team and make more informed wagers. So make sure you follow Sports Injury Central and gain an edge at sixscore.com.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
People that bashed him will be eating their words this year.
Pretty heavily favored to be a first-round pick, minus 400 earlier this week. But that's not the surprise.
If you're drafting J.J. McCarthy in the first half of the first round, you clearly believe not only is he a starter, he's going to be your starter for years to come. But
a popular bet was under 3.5 wide receivers in the first round.
The tape doesn't lie, baby.
Only on SportsGrid.
Victor Hovland right now can probably hit it right where he's looking on the range. But the problem is when you get out to a golf course, especially like Augusta National, it's a big, big picture. You can see every shot in the world, but the targets are really, really small.
I feel like whoever we pick is going to win. Like, I feel like we have the power to choose the winner of this tournament.
I know. I'm surprised more guys haven't reached out.
And they might, and they probably will.
Only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern.
Dodgers have scored another run. They're up 4-2 right now on the Washington Nationals. We're at the half in the association. This is an elimination game for these teams, Sacramento and Golden State. It's a 4-point game right now. Sacramento are laying 2.5 points at the half. They're up by 4, 54-40. In-game total, 216 and a half. I could be in trouble. I'm on Golden State, and I'm on the over. And we got a split earlier tonight. We were on the Lakers and the over, and the game stayed under the number. And looks like we were playing for a split here again. We got some player props. Cam, you're on the Sacramento Kings in this game. And Sean, you believe the Golden State Warriors will come back?
I think the Warriors come back. I'm a conspiracy guy. You know that. So I think they want the Warriors and Lakers both to win today. Better for the league to have them in than the Kings and the advance. So I'll buy on. They want
the NBA
Steph
would never
LeBron.
think like that.
Yeah, why
No. How dare they?
You know what though? They actually don't now. They used to, right? It used to be very manipulated, but like
No,
you
it's not
watched the
manipulated
game
at all.
tonight.
Yeah.
That Sacramento
the refs
team
are back.
versus the Lakers,
But-
there should have been. You saw that you remember that Gabe Pollard?
Yeah, that was
Vlade
30 years ago.
game,
It was
come on.
25 years ago.
Yeah,
It
I
was
know.
25 years ago.
Yeah, it was 25 years ago, but it still happened.
20,
They screwed the Kings. They screwed the Kings.
This
Big
guy.
time.
I know, but it's not
Huge
as rigged
Christie fan over
as it used to be. Like it's not as.
100%.
But I'm not going to lie. Like I will. Like I'm not going to deny the league would way prefer Golden State.
Yeah,
and
and
the Lakers.
I had the Lakers today. I did take the Lakers today. I didn't do the Golden State game, but I like Golden State. I think this game goes over. I think, you've seen them play before. I know it's an elimination game. You think defense, right? Playoffs defense, we got to ramp it up. I don't know. That's Golden State. I think they want to come out and score. They're down. They need to score. They'll come out firing.
One thing.
Kings will keep pace. They'll force it over. They'll get over to 221.
One thing tonight, there were a lot of calls that were questionable that put the Lakers on the free throw line. I'm not going to deny it. But at the same point in time, the Lakers, they earn their fouls in a way that they pound the ball in the paint a lot.
Yeah.
Like if you go over the stats, the Lakers second chance points, Lakers layups. The Lakers have the most layups in the NBA. Like literally, they lead the league in layups. So what does that mean? It means they're under the paint all the time. So it means they're going to get hit, and they're good at it. And how many times tonight, and the Pelican backers know what I'm talking about because you nearly won the game. There was one sequence there. Like you let LeBron off the hook a lot of times tonight. Like LeBron often tonight, LeBron wasn't on top of his game. A couple of times now, LeBron would have the ball and he'd sort of end up drifting into nowhere's land, into the corner of the court, and he'd have a bad shot. And then someone on the Pelicans would decide to come in and smoke him. There was one dude who just flew into him. It was bro, there's 0.6 left on the shot clock. He was about to do a skyhook air ball, right? But you crashed into him. And you can't say, LeBron gets the calls. It's no, you crashed into him. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
You got to stay away from him because they're going to call it if you touch him.
I think they were 2-1 in free throws over New Orleans tonight in discrepancy.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
Yeah, but the thing is, the Pelicans don't pound it in the paint. They stand and they take threes. So that's their fault.
I know. I'm just saying.
Not everything's a conspiracy.
Big guy inside. Yes, it is. That's what makes it a show.
See, that's Mr. Hicks.
That makes it a show.
I'm sure you believe Ohtani was actually gambling in the FBI and everyone's in one big cover-up, right?
Listen, I was 100% that guy was definitely betting. But then you see the case where it says that he'd call up the bank. They were sitting in the bank. It was him, Ohtani, and the bank, and nobody spoke Japanese or English but him. So he was saying whatever he had to say. Ohtani was just shaking his head, signing papers. Then he'd call the bank and say he's Ohtani. All right, I'll probably give him a pass on that. But first you hear that story and you're like, get the hell out of here. This guy's definitely involved in gambling. When you thought it was $4 million,
but as you
now
saw,
it's $40 million? He opened up a bank account in his name. Yeah.
As you saw in the story, though, the interpreter fooled more than Ohtani. He fooled CAA. It's a big-time agency that represents the biggest stars in the world. And like you said, the agent's sitting on one side of the desk saying one thing. Ohtani is saying one thing, and the interpreter is just lying to both of them, because neither of them know what each other are saying. And then he's nodding, and he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way," and then he even told them, "By the way, Shohei doesn't like these meetings. From now on, I'll come alone." And they're like, "Okay." He set it up. So he came in. He's like, oh, yeah, deposit this. We want this. It's like, dude.
I mean, unbelievable.
What's another tip?
If I was Ohtani, Cam, I'd be pissed at the agency. I'd be like, you guys
agree with you.
It's like, you're supposed to protect me from this stuff.
Another
like,
thing
you know
is,
what I mean?
what have you learned? Get multiple languages and hooked on phonics and trick people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Make sure, like,
no, it goes to show, Cam, you can just lie to everyone in this world. You just talk another language and no one even thinks to say, is he really telling the truth?
That's what I'm talking about, man. You learn multiple languages.
Like, we joked about that. Remember the first night I made a joke about that? I said, imagine Ohtani was saying, he is stealing all of my money. Please help me. And his interpreter was saying, we look forward to playing the Padres tomorrow night. Yeah. Right? Like, and Ohtani's like, I'm a prisoner. They're stealing my money. Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's like being kidnapped in the basement. It's like, no, everything's fine. You got to know what you're talking about.
Like, we don't know what Ohtani was saying this whole time. I wonder. I'm like, I don't know. Like, everything could be a lie. This guy lied about everything. I don't know, like Ohtani said.
No one knew he had a girlfriend.
Ohtani says, more money, please. You're right.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line, man.
Ohtani said, please help me. This guy's stealing from me. And this guy's like, I look forward to being a Dodger. It's going to be great in L.A.
He's trying to blink Morse code. He's blinking Morse code to the cameras.
Yeah.
I love
he should have brought up a sign. Help me.
Help.
No, Gabe, I've seen it true, because Portuguese Joe knew like 4 languages, and you should see the stuff he got away with. It's actually a real cunning tool. The more languages you know, you can fleece people. You can do all sorts of stuff, man. It's a real smart move, because people just don't know. Okay, whatever you say, sir. It's a real smart way.
No one double checks. You got to go to Angie's List next time. That's what Ohtani should have done.
Angie's List.
Angie's List. Can I get a Japanese interpreter on Angie's List? We have it all. Contractors.
Nobody has like Rosetta Stone. I mean, you couldn't go down to like the embassy and pull somebody out who spoke.
That's another thing too that I can't believe that one person around never said. You know, I don't think he's really saying everything right, or like somebody didn't say. You know, I don't think this guy really is as whatever as his peer as you think he is. But no one knew.
Where did the interpreter come from? Is that from the CIA gave to him, or was he just a friend?
No, he was.
Picked him out of the paper. Look at this. Went to Craigslist.
He was hired
off the internet.
He was hired by the Angels. When he came, he was from L.A. A lot of people like assume or thought that he was Japanese from Japan. He's a Japanese kid from L.A. So he spoke Japanese, but he's actually from L.A. The guy.
That's a crazy
What's the bottom line of the story again? The Angels are a shady organization. They got a lot of weird stuff happening on that team. Think about like
behind the scenes
and interpreters and all sorts of stuff. The sky, it's like if you break them down.
I remember Paul Bovey casually told us. He goes, I know 3 Angels. I'll bet with that guy. They all everyone knew. Yasiel Puig was betting with the guy. Like I said, LeBron's manager. It's not wasn't this big scandal or anything. Everyone just freaked out because it was Ohtani.
Yeah,
but Ohtani wasn't betting. He got ripped off. He wasn't betting.
Help.
$40 million.
That's the best you said. Help me. I'm really enjoying my stay with the Dodgers.
No, Buddy bet $40 million. Ohtani didn't get robbed for $40 million.
I know. He bet $40 million.
He bet $40 million, the guy. But I mean, who knows what he was saying? He bet $40 million, the guy. But you know what? It was over the course. So it wasn't over one summer.
3 years. Oh, yeah.
The guy was betting from 2020. Yeah, the COVID era, 2020 through COVID to now. 4 years of betting. So he's averaging $10 million a year in bets.
He's a big hitter. No $5 parlay.
He was also he played crypto too, so he was losing in crypto in the crypto market. He was just an all around degen.
Yeah, I don't buy. I'm not into. I don't care what people are talking about. Ask coin, this coin, whatever. I will never buy crypto ever. The only things that I have gold bars, silver, minerals, or cash. Crypto's for that game's done, Morency. People. Hey, I know a lot of people that bought houses with crypto, but it's not even real. I don't deal with crypto.
I'm not a crypto expert, so I regret that I didn't get in on the bottom floor on Bitcoin.
Me too.
But even now, you always say, no, it's not too late. It's not too late. It just keeps going up all the time. There's a lot of the other stuff, though. The thing is with crypto, Bitcoin, though, there's a lot of, right? That's the whole thing. If you know what I mean, older people don't get it. Older people don't get it. Younger people make money off it.
I get it. I just want to know who's the guy who's getting all of the real dollars, everything in from euros.
There is no
or
guy.
whatever. Like, where does that money go to? Like, who do you pay to get it?
It's
like, to buy
all
Bitcoin,
like
you know what I'm
you're
saying?
buying
Like, where
it
does it
from.
go?
You're buying it from someone else that has it. Like, there's no like bank that's selling. There is no. But that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you get hacked, like one day you log into your Bitcoin account and everything's gone, there's no
You're
customer service to call.
Exactly.
Like, there's no backup. Like, there was the famous story about a guy. He had like $150 million of Bitcoin in an account, but he didn't know the password. And there's like a 10-year expiration date on it. And you only have 10 attempts to get in, and then it vanishes. The money's gone, bro. It's just, it's gone.
There's no reset.
I love the fact that we veered off to a 60 Minutes episode here. This is great. I love
that guy.
Dangerous crypto.
But he hired, like, because there was so much money at stake. So he worked for a company in Germany, and when the first day Bitcoin came out, the owner of the company, was like Christmas, said, I gave you all like $5,000 worth of this new form of money. He goes, it'll be worth a lot of money one day. It turned into like $130 million for the guy.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Otani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Boy, if you passed him up as a Heisman Trophy winner and he lights the league on fire like C.J. Stroud over a Bryce Young, you might not make it as a head coach or in your regime here. I just don't think they can pass over Daniels at number 2.
He's sitting at 5.8 goals, saved above average. He has been standing on top of his head for this team, but defense has to help him out a little bit. The Red Wings defense comes alive just a bit. I think that they're definitely going to punch their card.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
North Carolina come back, take the lead, and then somehow Alabama punches back. A true classic. Like, the word classic gets tossed around loosely a lot, but that really was a true classic.
Great point earlier about Arizona. They had such an advantage under the basket, yet they're having guys just chuck threes. Their whole game plan sucked from the get-go. Like, the fact that they lost that game, I put a lot of it on coaching.
SportsRage Late Night, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
tonight's NBA matchups were pretty cool. I mean, you got the Lakers and the Pelicans, Sacramento Golden State's a cool matchup. Tomorrow night, we go back to the East Coast, and as usual, like when we talk about Eastern Conference stuff, it's like, oh, God. So Miami and Philadelphia tomorrow, total is 208, and the Atlanta Hawks and the Bulls. How the hell did the Hawks and the Bulls make the play-in? How
You're right.
How is this possible? Like, how bad is this?
A great point by you, Morency. It doesn't take Lionel Hutz, a smoking
Terrible.
monkey, and lawyer. These teams shouldn't even be there. That's my argument against the play-in. Both of those teams, it's ridiculous. They shouldn't be there.
I'm going to tell you,
they're a joke.
The ratings for that game is going to dip. Like, everyone's going to be like, oh, I'm done. I'll see you on Saturday, and I'll see you when the playoffs start.
First-rated play-in game ever. Bulls and Hawks.
Even the Heat and Sixers is big market, I guess, and there's Jimmy Butler and Embiid. I'm not intrigued. I'm like, oh God, this game's gonna suck.
I think that's a good game, the Heat and Sixers.
I like the Heat. Give me the points.
I like the Heat too. It's up
the
to
Heat
5,
are
though.
plus 5 right now.
Yeah.
I'll take them on the money line.
Yeah, I got the Heat. Embiid, he's looked good since he's come back. He's good, averaging 30 games since he's come back from his little.
I think the Sixers win,
there.
guys.
Yeah, will they win by more than 5? That's the question.
I wish it would have came down to 4. I don't like. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm a little worried about Miami play here. Believe it or not, there, Cam. I mean, I got them, but
Tyrese Maxey's balling, man.
He is.
Like,
It's just
Embiid
Miami
is back, but Philadelphia, they got Nick Nurse now too. In the past, they haven't had Nurse. Nurse is a good coach in big games.
Yep.
It's a 1-game setting. Also, like Philadelphia, no, right? They get this, they get a couple of days off, and then they move on. I think they're going to be in trouble moving forward, but I don't buy in. I know everyone always just thinks Miami's going to flick the switch all the time in the playoffs, but I don't think it happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
And listen, I think Miami could beat the Hawks or Bulls and get in after, though, anyways.
That's a good point.
That's the thing.
That's a very, very good point. Philly might win that game, so I'm going to be very cautious. So if they lose, I smash the Heat against any of those two chump teams for sure.
Yeah. They're going to play the winner of the Hawks and Bulls.
Yeah, and they'll win. The Heat aren't that, like, Gabe, you know the Heat. They've changed a lot. They got a couple nice parts on their team right now. I'm not going to say they're going to do any damage or anything, but they're a hell of a lot better than the Hawks and Bulls. That's fact, Jack. They stink, those teams.
I don't know. The Heat are like superhuman. Every time the playoffs start, they get better. That is one thing you cannot deny, right?
True.
Like, playoff Jimmy. You're right. They brought in Rozier, so they got a little bit of a pop there. It's one good thing. To me, though, I tell you, Sean, I don't buy in. I think Tyler Hero sucks, personally. I think he's way overpaid. Like, he eats up a lot of money, like, for what he brings. He's inconsistent. He's hurt all the time. Like, I don't trust him.
I get it, but if you're saying like Nick Nurse is a good coach, you got to give it to Spoelstra down there. He does a great job.
Oh, I know. Spoelstra is better than Nurse. Yeah, Spoelstra's the best.
So I'm gonna side to he should be able to cover and maybe win this one. Definitely move on. Obviously, they should beat who's ever up next, but they're a tough team, man. Just because of they're not the Warriors' pedigree of champions, but they've been a good team the last few years. I think people forget how
this might not be a popular take.
They always lose.
I think these playoff
in the finals.
I think it sucks.
But they get there.
Personally, I was all excited for it. Like, just get into the damn playoffs. Enough is enough. Got to lose and play another team and this and that. Like, everything, just make the playoffs, man.
I actually like the Hawks tomorrow.
You like the Hawks,
I hate the play-in nonsense. I hate this. This is trash. I don't know why we have to have this.
I thought I was the only guy who felt that way.
No. I think the league did this so LeBron and Steph Curry could make the playoffs because their teams are so bad. Like, why do we have this? Or KD, like these teams that barely make the playoffs. Like, I don't understand the whole.
It keeps more people involved, late games, and all that type of stuff.
Come on.
Put it this way: the ratings for these games will be good.
Yeah, well, they're like the playing games in the NCAA tournament. They're going to get
Yes,
ratings.
look at them like that. This is what this is. This is like the NCAA tournament Dayton bracket.
Yeah, well, thank goodness you could bet on them now, folks, because if nobody was betting on this game, who the heck's watching this nonsense? Nobody. If nobody was betting it, no one's going to be watching the Hawks and Bulls tomorrow. But there'll be a bunch of degenerates betting first basket tomorrow in the Hawks game. And
people will be watching it. It's just boring. It's just not as flashy as this stuff is. You know what I mean? But people will still watch. Right.
Like I said, I want to take the Hawks as bad as they played coming down the stretch. I want to take Atlanta there, and probably the over. The over moved a little bit there too, I think.
All right, so these are the series prices. Cleveland Cavaliers minus 200 over the Orlando Magic. Who do you like there, Sean? Cleveland or Orlando?
I mean, I'm going to be on the points with Orlando per game, so I guess I'd lean Orlando plus whatever I'm getting on the other side. I like the Magic. They're like a scrappy bunch. There's no sexy guy on that team. You're like, oh my goodness, watch out. It's just a team that just kind of wins games. 158. I'll take a 158 with this bunch.
You want to talk about Gaggers, Gabe? The Cleveland Cavaliers fit that mold. I don't want to weigh 200 with those guys. They could choke hard.
Yeah.
They should win the series, though.
I mean, Mitchell's probably the best guy on the floor, but the guy's going to roll his ankle and be out for a game. He's never healthy.
Cleveland have had, they didn't look good last year. They got rolled early. Was to the Knicks. Mitchell has the reputation of losing in the playoffs, going back to Utah, but I think this is a series that they'll get done. It'll be a battle, though. Orlando are good. Both Wagners are good. Obviously, Banchero. You know what Banchero's going to give? He's going to give you 20 points every game. So they're a fun team, Orlando. The crowd's going to be all fired up there. They haven't been in the playoffs in forever.
Yeah.
But I think Cleveland have enough to get it done. Phoenix and Minnesota. I'm taking Minnesota. I think Minnesota are going to beat Phoenix. They're plus 115 underdogs.
I like Minnesota.
I like Minnesota.
I said at the beginning of the year I liked Minnesota to get to the conference finals here from the West. I like that team. Last year I thought it was a big learning experience for them. Now they got to take that step forward. And again, the whole
Denver.
KD's good, but give me Mini.
Sacramento are up by 12 right now. They're playing well in the third quarter.
Uh-oh.
At some point, Golden State's going to have to dial this up. Let's not forget, they were up by 4 only at the half. So this has been a good start to the second half for Sacramento. But one thing, everyone knows this with Sacramento, there's like these peaks and valleys in their games. And they could be up by 14 or something. The next thing you know, you're like, wow, they're losing by 1 late. We'll see if they can keep the pedal to the metal here. But, Golden State, it appears like Sacramento are just quicker and faster than they are tonight. The youth seems to be prevalent early in this game in the third quarter. So the Nuggets open up as minus 350 favorites against the Lakers.
I
could
can't
argue it should be higher.
I'm not a guy laying that number out. I mean, we'll see what the point is. 9 points in a game or whatever. They're going to be favored over the Lakers. I can't wait till the Lakers get run out. People just think the Lakers are going to go to the final. Are you kidding me? Denver's a good team, folks. I mean, they took it easy.
Well, no one's picking the Lakers against Denver. I haven't heard too many people. People wanted the Lakers to lose tonight to avoid Denver, actually.
Avoid Denver, yeah. I saw that. Someone messaged me. He's like, hey, man, you think the Lakers are going to sit guys so they don't have to play Denver? I'm like, oh, I don't think so.
I'm with Gabe's take. When you play sports, you don't think like that. You play who you play. You play the team on this crap or good. Like that, these are things that were made up by people that have never picked up a ball, shot a puck, or done anything. If you play the damn game, you know what? We play who's on the damn schedule. You made a good point earlier, Morency. I'm sick and tired of this crap. People, we're going to lose on purpose to get this.
Gabe, is Cam getting angrier with his little mutton chops going over there or what? Is that what it is?
Nobody's tanking in the playoffs.
Crazy.
Yeah, I get fired up, Pigs. Yeah, my eyebrows get blonder and my face gets redder. It's hockey, playoff season, getting angry.
The Dallas Mavericks are plus 110 underdogs against the Mavericks are now minus 130 against the Clippers. It's flipped. The Mavericks are the favorites, which is crazy. Before it was the other way around. And now the Pacers and the Bucks is a pick 'em. It's minus 110 on both sides. I'm actually surprised there hasn't been a little bit more of a swing here, considering the Giannis news. That I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but it appears as if though he might miss the first 2 games. I don't know, like we've seen this before in the playoffs with him. I got to be honest. I already liked the Pacers before.
I did too.
Like even if Giannis was playing in every game and everything, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. I think the Pacers could beat you guys. The Pacers have beaten them 4 to 5 times that they played this year. The Pacers they're a good team. They have a great team chemistry. They've had enough time now with Siakam to get acclimated. They all know their roles. They push the tempo. They're not great defensively, but they can play defense in spots, actually. Turner is a good defender in the paint. Siakam is a very good defensive player. I think Indy can go on a run, actually, here in the playoffs, guys. Indy and the Knicks will be a really fun series, actually. It'll be an old-school rivalry series, old-school Reggie Miller days, and Spike Lee and stuff. Like, it almost feels like it's destined to happen. But I'm taking the Pacers, guys, minus 110 to beat the Bucks in the series. And the Mavericks and Clippers are a real toss-up, but I lean with the Mavericks.
I got the Pacers plus 3.5 the other day for game one, but I like them to win because Choke Rivers, terrible, right? What are they? Were they under 500 since he took over? Come on,
they should have never got rid of Budenholzer. They're like, oh yeah, he's a crap coach. Yeah, you won a damn title with the guy. See him at the tavern.
30 and 13. Let's get rid of him. Unbelievable. Yeah. So I want nothing. I don't care if Yanni was playing. I don't care. No. And I'll tell you what. I took a Mavericks at a 8-1 plus or maybe 750. I forgot what it was at to win the West there. You got Luka and Flat Earth Kyrie. I love it. I love you got two guys who could score 50 any given time. And the fact that the line's flipping is telling me that somebody's missing for the Clippers. Somebody's getting hurt, whether it's Kawhi, George, whoever, Harden. I don't even know. Somebody's going to go down. It's just that simple. And listen, Luka's ridiculous. I mean, you're going to give me a pick 'em with those two guys? I mean, do people forget Kyrie in the championship with the Warriors?
No, Kyrie's
series?
a good big game playoff player. Yeah. He's the one that hit the three that won the championship.
Won the championship
for them. So the Kings are playing well, man. They're hitting shots. De'Aaron Fox just hit a three. Golden State did just respond with a deuce back, but the Kings are up by 13 late in the third quarter. 2 minutes and 21 seconds left in the third quarter of play. The total has bounced all the way back up, though. It's up to 225.5 now in game. It dipped down. It was 216.5 at the half. The total closed at 222.5, so it's 225.5 in game. And the Kings are laying 8.5 again right now, up by 13.
They go 2 and 6 coming down the stretch, and then they have a big game like this. Good for them. I thought they were a little different. Monk wasn't.
They haven't
there
won yet, though. I'm telling you, Sacramento are shaky.
We've seen this movie before with Sacramento. No lead is safe, man. It's got to be a final.
Listen, I'm saying they came out. They took whatever the Warriors were given this period and extended the lead. So you got to give them credit there, considering the way they played coming into the play-in game here.
Oh, they've outscored them 32-23 in the third. There's been 55 points scored here in the third quarter. This is why the total's picked up.
Yeah,
32-23. Very good offensive quarter. And that's Sacramento at their best, right? Play quickly, score, play quick tempo, get the older Warriors to try to run up and down the court. It doesn't seem like the Warriors have that offensive rhythm tonight. Like they're not hitting threes. It's funny. It's like they're Sacramento are doing to them what the Warriors have done to people over the years. Like the Warriors used to get 2 points, the Warriors would get 3, and by the end of the night you'd be down 18. The math didn't add up. That's what Sacktown's doing. They're hitting threes.
Yeah.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Boy, if you passed him up as a Heisman Trophy winner and he lights the league on fire like C.J. Stroud over a Bryce Young, you might not make it as a head coach or in your regime here. I just don't think they can pass over Daniels at number 2.
He's sitting at 5.8 goals saved above average. He has been standing on top of his head for this team, but defense has to help him out a little bit. The Red Wings defense comes alive just a bit. I think that they're definitely going to punch their card.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
North Carolina come back, take the lead, and then somehow Alabama punches back. A true classic. Like, the word classic gets tossed around loosely a lot, but that really was a true classic.
Great point earlier about Arizona. They had such an advantage under the basket, yet they're having guys just chuck threes. Their whole game plan sucked from the get-go. Like, the fact that they lost that game, I put a lot of it on coaching.
SportsRage Late Night, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The Early Line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage Late
sort
Night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
$88-75, 40 seconds left. Curry's on the bench right now. They're saving him up for the fourth quarter here. This is a very big possession. There's like 35 seconds left. It's 13. If Golden State can get a stop and a score and get a little bit of something, getting out of this quarter here right now. But Sacktown just hit a big 3. And there was a sequence here too where Sacramento were getting a loose ball, guys. Like, they're just younger, quicker, hungrier. Golden State are in trouble. They're down by 16 right now, 91 to 75. Sean, you like anything tomorrow on the diamond, Major League Baseball?
Yeah, I'm looking for a Gausman to bounce back tomorrow versus the Yanks. Yeah, they railed them the other day. It was about a week ago, and they're hot. They've won 4 in a row. Yanks slipping, dropped 3 in a row. I'm going to go with Toronto, slight 110 fave, 105, but I kind of like the run line here. I think you find a run line plus like 170, probably 180 if you want to get really a little juicy with a run line. I think they hit Stroman, right? Stroman, old Blue Jay arm back in the day.
Yep, that's true.
Cam, what do you like anything tomorrow?
I'm going to bet the Jays, but I'm going to go to the Champions League soccer. Bayern Munich plus 140 to beat Arsenal. Also in the second game, both teams to record a goal. Manchester City, I talked to Julio. By the way, had great picks today. Both games going over the total. I think that Man City shouldn't be favored by that much, too. I agree with him. But both teams to score in the Man City game. Give me Bayern Munich over Arsenal.
All right. We should note that Kevin Gossman's been terrible this year. So it's a leap of faith that he's going to pitch well tomorrow. He hasn't pitched well at all, which is a surprise. I thought he was going to be on fire this year, but he hasn't been. So that's what I would proceed with caution with that tomorrow.
The entire team hadn't been playing well. That's all right. Come on.
He's been bad until his last spot. I know he's been very bad. I agree.
He's been bad.
But I'm not worried.
Are the Jays going to win?
Fine.
Are they really going to win 5 in a row? I don't know.
I think so. Listen. Are you really that? Look at the Yankee lineup. Is that some murderer's row of bats? That's terrible.
But the Yankees under is a good bet. Just like that was last year. Yankees under.
Yeah.